Tony Palladino took an early hat-trick and Tim Groenewald claimed 5 wickets as second division leaders Derbyshire had a great first day of their LV County Championship match with neighbours Leicestershire at Grace Road. Matthew Hoggard won the toss and decided to have a bat, hoping that Michael Thornley could continue the kind of form which saw him score 228 runs on his debut for the county in Cardiff last week. But instead, he became the first victim in Palladino's hat-trick. With the second ball of the 5th over, Thornley was LBW. Like Thornley, Ned Eckersley hit a career-best 100 in his last innings, but this time he was out first ball with a nick behind off Palladino. The hat-trick ball could hardly have been any better as it ripped out Ramnaresh Sarwan's off stump. It seemed to take Palladino just a second or two to realise what he'd just achieved. It was the first hat-trick of his career and the first for Derbyshire since Kevin Dean got one on this same ground a dozen years ago. The hat-trick left Leicestershire in a terrible mess in the first 5 overs. They were on 7 for 3, but Matt Boyce, who had to watch that hat-trick from the non-striker's end, and Josh Cobb, who'd come in to avoid it being 4 in 4 for Palladino, did manage to regroup. They added a necessary 59 for the 4th wicket to give the scoreboard some respectability. However, they were 4 down by lunchtime. Having made 30, Cobb nicked John Clare behind to Tom Poynton. Boyce had missed the last match for his county through injury, a run fest down in South Wales, but he played well here as Derbyshire tried to put last week's surprise defeat to Gloucestershire behind them. Boyce recorded his 3rd 50-plus score of the summer after lunch with an edge to third man, which brought him the 3 runs he required. His half-century had come off 104 balls and had included 6 boundaries in all, some effort given what he'd witnessed at the other end, something which perhaps concentrated the mind somewhat. He didn't add another run for the next 13 balls and perhaps then lost patience. Groenewald's slower delivery came out all wrong, but Boyce somehow managed to chip it to Wayne Madsen at mid-off. A better ball than his next over did for Greg Smith, who nicked Groenewald to Wes Durston to end his innings on 9, made from 71 minutes at the crease. Clare then came back on and had Wayne White caught in the gully as he couldn't keep his cut shot down, finding Ross Whiteley instead. That had left Leicestershire on 111 for 7, and they were indebted to Kadir Ali, who came in at number 8 and dominated an 8th wicket stand of 58 with Nathan Buck. Kadir played intelligently, keeping the strike well and taking on the spin of David Wainwright. This was the pick of his shots, a perfectly timed one over the top, which carried all the way for a 6. But after tea, Groenewald returned to the action and finished the Leicestershire innings off with haste. Buck, with 13 runs to his name, edged to Durston, and Kadir went in the bowler's next over with a nick behind as he tried to hit the boundary, which would have taken him to his 50. Instead, he was out for 48. Groenewald wasted no time in finding the edge of Nadeem Malik's bat. Durston took his 3rd catch of the innings, and Groenewald had his first fifer of the season, with fantastic figures of 5 for 29. So Leicestershire were all out for 177, and Derbyshire had only time for 3 overs of their reply before the rain arrived. That gave Chesley Hughes time to hit his first boundary of the summer, having replaced Martin Guptill in the team. He's returned to New Zealand. Derbyshire ended the day on 5 without loss to trail by 172 runs. They will hope that the weather now improves and they can back themselves into a winning position on day 2.